Hello and welcome to The Final Whistle. I'm Steve Forbes.
I'm Kenzie Benali.
And Southampton have moved up to 5th in the Premier League with a convincing 2-0 win over Everton at St Mary's. Now here to dissect it all with us is Dean Hammond and Joe Prince-Wright. We'll get stuck right into it, chaps. Joe, you're there still in the stands. What did you make of that game overall?
It was a dominant performance by Saints. If I'm honest, there should have been 3 or 4-0. Got a bit lucky early on. Obviously, Sigurdsson hit the crossbar. Everton started well, but as soon as they didn't take any of those chances, you could just see this Saints side growing in confidence. Thought Shea Adams absolutely dominated Everton's back line. Was man of the match for me. Again, got his goal. 2 games on the trot now. Do his confidence the world of good. And all over the pitch, Southampton bossed it. They won their individual battles. And as Dean will tell you, that's so important. But I was disappointed with Everton. But to be honest, Saints made them play poorly. Yes, Everton were missing a few key players, but Southampton could have been more clinical in the second half to maybe just put it to bed a bit earlier. But totally deserved display. A wonderful, wonderful result for Saints. And I think it just kind of underlines how far they've come in the last 12 months under Ralph Hasenhüttl. So sun is shining here at St Mary's, and Southampton fans everywhere will definitely have enjoyed that performance. So hopefully it's the first of many, many more wins to come this season. Yeah,
Dean, do you concur? Or were Everton really poor, or were Saints just amazing today?
I'm trying not to get too excited, if I'm honest. I think Southampton, again, have performed excellently. Really, really dominant performance. I agree with Joe. Everton started well. Rode the luck with a great strike from Sigurdsson. But from that point on, just dominated the game. Really, really good controlled passing of the ball. Excellent team shape. Looked really fit and strong. 2 goals that were scored at good times in the first half, pretty quickly after each other as well, which kind of killed Everton off. I would go with that. It was an excellent Southampton performance. Like Joe said, a little bit disappointed with Everton. I've seen them play this year and they've played better. But, you know, Southampton just overpowered them, really. Without the ball, they won second balls. They picked it up. They broke quickly. Redmond, ran with the ball. He made so many good runs up the pitch, which helped Southampton then turn out and control possession again. Just a really dominant performance. 2 excellent goals again. 2 assists from Danny Ings. Obviously didn't get on the score sheet, but played a massive contribution. And just really excited time. So yeah, I'm trying not to get carried away, but I say it every week, and I'm not just saying it. I'm so impressed with the team. They're getting better and better each week, and they look like they're really enjoying playing with each other. And the biggest thing, they really look like they understand how the manager wants them to play. I'd love to see how they train, because they're physically fit, mentally fit. So yeah, really, really good times ahead, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
As are we. So Dean and Joe are naturally delighted with that result, as are the fans at home, understandably. Callum's got in touch. He says, what a fantastic win. And Carl Bridge has said 2-0, fantastic result. And what a change it makes for the team to have a good start in the league. Yeah, 5th, as Steve mentioned. Now, I want to come back to you, Dean and Joe, because James Ward-Prowse we spoke about in the pre-match show. He's been phenomenal again today, getting the goal as well. He did really well to get into that position, didn't he? It was quite a tight angle there. Joe, what did you make of that goal? You saw it in the flesh.
It was brilliant. I mean, I was right behind it here, and as soon as it left his foot, you knew it was in that far bottom corner. And as Dean and I were chatting about before the game, Ward-Prowse really has added that aggressive nature to his play, and I think we saw that today with his forward runs. He nearly got in towards the end of the game with a lovely clip ball over the top that he just couldn't quite control. But coming into this, is really looking forward to seeing Decore and Alan for Everton, and they've been so dominant all season. But I have to say, the midfield 2 of Romeo and Ward-Prowse, and then Diallo, when he came on as well, did really well. So totally dominant midfield display. Ward-Prowse, for me, just keeps getting better and better. He's so solid, so savvy, and a great finish, and could have had a couple more.
Yeah, Dean, we saw Shea grab the second goal of the game. He's someone that we've kind of labelled as the unluckiest striker in the Premier League before, but are we finally seeing that luck start to turn?
I think so. I think we've mentioned on the show before, he's not doing anything majorly different. His performances have been excellent, and it's it's a position that I can't think what game, maybe the West Brom or Tottenham game, he was in a similar position where it was a strike where it took a deflection and the keeper saved it or a defender blocked it on the line. But this time, controlled himself, just composed himself for that extra second, like you do when you've got that monkey off your back and you scored last week. He took that extra second just to strike. Little deflection went under Pickford. So, yeah, I think his luck is changing, but he deserves that luck because he works so hard for the team. He's a real team player. He's getting opportunities. He looks fit and strong. He looks hungry, and he looks now like a really, really good signing by Southampton. There would have been a few question marks over him last year with the money that the club paid for him. But no, his luck is changing, and he keeps getting in them positions. He keeps getting them opportunities. And if he could get into double figures this season, that would be a huge achievement for him because the partnership him and Danny are creating is really dangerous and really threatening for teams. So they'll be fully aware of Shea now, and his hold-up play is improving as well. So I'm glad his luck is changing. I want to see him score more goals. He's a young player, and he looks like he could be a really, really good investment for the club.
As Dean said, Joe, Shea just works so hard for the team. What did you make of his overall performance today?
It was brilliant. I think that if you actually look at sort of him and Calvert-Lewin and two opposites leading the line for their teams, obviously Calvert-Lewin has done really well this season, got his England call-up, scoring goals, but obviously Shea edged it today and didn't even edge it. He totally did a much better job for Southampton leading the line. And the stat that sort of stuck out to me was that he failed to score in any of his first 24 Premier League games, and now he's scored 6 in his last 12. So that just shows you that confidence of Project Restart, and then it's flowing over to the start of this season. But I really enjoyed the way that he linked up with Ings again. He allows Danny to drop deeper, to create, give Saints an outlet, and Michael Keane and Yerry Mina, they'll be having nightmares about Shea Adams when they go to sleep tonight because he just ran and ragged. And yeah, he was sat just in front of me on the bench here, and he looked pretty shattered at the end of the game, and no wonder because he just ran himself into the ground, and it's a wonderful start to the season for him. Really is playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah,
it's really interesting what Joe said there because I played with both of them at Sheffield United. They were both there when I was there, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Shea Adams. And Shea started ahead of Dominic and was the better player and the better prospect. Now, I know Dominic's had a really, really good season and start to the season, but natural ability, Shea is better. He's a better player. Now, that can change. Players can improve. You can come into a different environment and they can adapt as players and really, really improve. But I think this just shows how good a player Shea can be. If Dominic Calvert-Lewin can do it, then Shea can definitely do it. So, you know, Joe's right there. I think it's a really, really good investment for the club, and I look forward to seeing his progression.
Yeah, as do we all. Someone who didn't get on the score sheet today was Danny Ings. You mentioned his link-up play. He did get 2 assists, though, which is actually the first time in his career that he's got 2 assists in a game. Are we seeing the all-round quality of Ings, Dean, and not just viewing him as an out-and-out goal scorer?
Yeah, I think we were fully aware of that anyway. It's just the fact that he's always a goal scorer. He's always scoring goals. So sometimes the rest of his performance or the rest of his game gets overlooked. But no, 2 great assists. You know, the one for well, actually the first one for Prowse, you know, he's used the outside of his foot. He's put it through the defender's leg to put James Ward-Prowse in. And then the second one with, you know, very composed on the left wing, took the defender on the outside and an excellent cross with his weaker foot to pick Shea out. So, yeah, he has good awareness, Danny. He makes good runs off the ball. He's comfortable with his back to goal as well. He's comfortable coming into the number 10 role and getting turns and slipping other players in. So, no, an excellent player. He'll be disappointed because he's a goal scorer that he hasn't scored today, that, you know, he didn't quite get many opportunities to get a goal. There was a few opportunities where he could have got the shot off but didn't quite. But no, his combination play and his link-up play with the front four is excellent. So he's definitely got more to his game than just scoring.
Yeah, hugely dominant performance from the Southampton attack. But let's talk about the Southampton defence now then. A really interesting stat here. Dominic Calvert-Lewin only touched the ball 6 times in the first half, which is crazy when you put it like that. What does that say about Southampton's defending today, Joe? Dominant,
really. Whenever one player would step out, the other would cover really well. There's a couple of occasions where Yannick Vestergaard loves to get on the ball and come out from the back sometimes, just a little bit, you know, heart in the mouth stuff. But you need to do that to kind of start the attacks and start building from the back. But there was one situation in the second half where the ball kind of got lost, and then Jan Bednarek stepped straight in, was very positive. And I think that says a lot for Saints. Obviously, after conceding 3 at Chelsea in the way they defended last time out, to get a clean sheet here and be so dominant and be so positive on the front foot, that's difficult to do, because the mentality would have been, we don't want to have a slow start like last week, but you have to give a lot of praise to that partnership, because as we've said previously, Dean, Jack Stephens really hasn't done a lot wrong this season, but at the moment there's no looking past Yannick and Jan as a centre-back partnership, and they do really gel and dovetail really well there. So, but across the back line and across the midfield, they're totally shut them down. And I think Everton, you could see the frustration with the red card and Calvert-Lewin lashing out late on as well. That they just knew that they were totally dominated from start to finish. So yet another clean sheet for Saints, which we haven't said for quite some time.
We did speak before the game about how impressive Everton have been so far this season. They weren't quite at the races today. We talked just now about how good the Saints' defence was, but what didn't go right for Everton today, Dean? Like, why didn't they get on that score sheet, considering the quality that they have in that side?
It's a really good question, actually. I would look at the other way and just think what Southampton did well. I think the 2 centre midfielder players from Southampton stopped the ball going into the front 3, protected the back 4 very, very well. The fullbacks got out to the ball quickly. After the first 20 minutes, I think the warning sign from Sigurdsson's strike where he cut inside and hit the crossbar. But after that, they prevented the crosses. They got out to the wingers nice and quickly, made them play backwards. And if you look at Everton, they played backwards and sideways quite a lot, which was because of the pressure that Southampton put them under. Southampton kept a shape. As soon as they saw the ball loose or a player turn back, they triggered and they went and pressed the ball and tried to win it high up the pitch. So excellent play from Southampton. Everton didn't quite get their rhythm going. I think they missed Richarlison. He brings that extra bit of quality, that extra bit of pace that Southampton might have been aware of. So that would have been a factor as well. But I'd like to say that Southampton just got the game plan really, really, they perfected it well, and the manager got it right, and they prepared well during the week. And after that 20 minutes, 70 minutes of pure dominant football. So excellent from Southampton. And I would always look at it that way, the positives rather than the negative of Everton not quite being as good as they have been.
Well, let's give a mention now then to Oriol Romeu. We've got a comment here from Mark Littlewood on YouTube. He says, Romeu is my player of the season so far. Now, Ibrahima Diallo was brought in to compete with Oriol, but is he just playing so well, Joe, that he's kind of impossible to drop at the moment?
He is, and I think, full credit to him, because previously Pierre-Emile Højbjerg played a lot last season, and Oriol had to be really patient, but he's taken his chance, grabbed it with both hands over the summer, and then at the start of this season. And thought we were going to have another Romeu cracker from outside the box there. He got hold of that one in the first half that Pickford saved, and was really good at using the ball, really good at keeping possession. Him, James Ward-Prowse, Armstrong gave Saints great balance in possession, which I think is maybe one of the criticisms in the past we can maybe have, that it's worked so hard on the transition and to press teams high. When we do actually win the ball back, then you have to use it slightly better. But Oriol's been brilliant, and you can just see that he dominates that midfield area, and that's not easy against Decore and Alan, have been so good this season. And he definitely is in that category, I think, of underrated and sort of unsung heroes for Southampton for a long, long time now. He never lets anyone down, and he's taken his game to the next level this season. And I love Diallo as well. When he came on, some really nice passes and slotted straight into that midfield. And he's still a very young player, so a good future in midfield for Southampton.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the goals and performance, one of the other talking points of the game was Lucas Dean, who was shown a straight red card for a foul on Carl Walker-Peters. I'm going to stick with you, Joe, for this one, considering you were there to watch it firsthand. I also saw you tweeted to say it was a dangerous challenge. Can there be any complaints?
Not really, although I've seen a few people, mostly Everton fans, responding to that tweet, maybe not agreeing. But it was one of those professional fouls, like, Saints were on the break. Lucas Dean, he knew exactly what he was doing. He mistimed it slightly, but it was nasty. It was reckless. I think he was out of control. It was probably Dean into the orange card category, maybe in between yellow and red. But I do think it was a really nasty challenge, and I wouldn't see too many complaints for the red card there.
Yes.
Joe, I would honestly say it was horrendous tackle. If I'm honest, there's no question it's a red. It's like, I'm quite a calm character. I love the tackle when I played. I love being competitive. I love that side of the game. But that's just dangerous play. He knows exactly what he's doing. He'd had a nibble at the fullback when he first went past him. He got away from him. It's just a lazy tackle. He's tired. He doesn't want to run anymore. And he's just rubbed his studs down his Achilles. Now, I know how dangerous that can be. It may not look it, but them things shouldn't be in part of the game. You know, it's all about being competitive and want to win. But you don't try and hurt other people. So, no doubt in my mind that it's a red card. And I got a little bit angry in the living room when I was watching the game. So I don't usually get like that. But them tackles, there's no place for them in the game.
Well, that's answered that then.
Yeah, no, I think most Saints fans are very much in agreement with you there. No complaints on socials, that's for sure. Just so much love for the whole team, really, and so much excitement after such a fantastic result. We'll get through a few of these now. Andrew's got in touch and he said, wow, what an amazing win against the top side. And now we're up to 5th. Unbelievable. Darren, hello to you. He's on Facebook. He just said perfect result. Reese has commented and said Vestergaard Orings was my man of the match today. Mike and Mandy Duncan, good afternoon. They said what a great result, outplayed them all in all departments. The score could have been much more. And another comment here from Richard. Hello, he's on Facebook. He's tuning in all the way from Norway. He said totally deserved win. My man of the match was Shea. Lots of different mans of the matches, lots of good performances to choose from, of course. Dean said he's watching from Bangkok. One of the best Saints performances for years. It was a very impressive display, wasn't it? And Andy's also said fantastic result today. Midfielders clicking, protecting the back four and supplying our front men well. So understandably, some very happy Saints fans from across the globe.
Yeah, fans are impressed. And what's also impressive is Southampton's position in the Premier League now. Saints are now up to 5th in the table. Now, I know it is early days, but considering we've already played Spurs, Chelsea and now Everton, how good is this going forward, Dean?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Like I mentioned, I'm trying not to get carried away. The performances have been excellent and the results have been very, very good as well, especially with a reasonably slow start to the season. But the performances weren't, the results were. But the side's really picked up now. And now 5th place is an excellent and is a high position for Southampton. I think it just highlights the progression at the football club and they're moving in the right direction. And the team's playing excellent. My only concern, to keep this going for the whole season is the depth of the squad. If Southampton could play the same 11 players, the same 12, 13 players each week, they would be fresh, they would be recovered, then they could really compete at that level. But the difference is during the season, especially where games are going to be a little bit more closer together this season, it's going to be tough. But let's enjoy it while it is. Southampton are 5th in the league. Why would you not enjoy it? They're playing excellent football. They're scoring goals. And the results and the performances have been good. They've not been lucky wins. They've not been a smash and grab. They've been controlled performances that could have been more. I mean, the 3rd goal today that was disallowed was brilliant. A great through ball. Shea held it up. Armstrong came in and put a brilliant finish in. Just offside, obviously. But no, really, really good signs and really positive signs for Southampton this season. I just hope that they can keep it going and keep players fit.
Well, we do sit in 5th, but sitting in 3rd position is our next opponents, Aston Villa. Joe, what are your thoughts going into that game next week?
Well, I think Saints should just be full of confidence now after that performance, and it's been, a steady build. This isn't just over the last few weeks that Dean and I and Saints fans everywhere can kind of feel confident and full of enthusiasm and positivity, because I'm not going to bring up what happened 12 months ago to the day, but it's been a long journey since then, and it's been a steady build. So this isn't something that we should just say is a flash in the pan. This is a clear plan in place, and Everton are a better team on paper than Aston Villa if you look man for man, player for player. Obviously both teams have had a very good start to the season, but for Saints to play against Villa, they like to have the ball. Barkley, Grealish like to get on it a lot, and I think that suits Saints very well to kind of counter and use the the combination of that front four that played so well again today. So, like Dean, I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself, but it is quite rare to have Saints start a season extremely well. And I think that really does show that things are moving in the right direction. There's a lot of confidence. And this team under Ralph Hasenhüttl that we've seen the last few seasons, they get better and better as the season goes on. So kind of looking forward to the festive period, because one thing Dean did bring up, a lot of the teams that are above us, the perennial top six, the big boys, they've got European action to contend with this season, and we don't have that. So our squad, in theory, should be able to manage a little bit better than some of the bigger boys that have a lot more games to play. So there you go. I'm being very positive at the moment, and sitting here at St Mary's, I mean, it's hard not to be after that performance, because that was really, really good today.
Yeah, we spoke about how Southampton kept Dominic Calvert-Lewin quiet today. Now, Jack Grealish is arguably Aston Villa's danger man. Dean, how do the Saints control him and his massive calf muscles?
Good question. No, he's he's a brilliant player, Jack. Really good. I've had the pleasure of playing against him. He was a lot younger when I played against him, but no, he's a talented prospect, and he's a danger man for Aston Villa. He's a talisman. He carries the ball well. He's got a goal threat. But I think if you can get round him, if you can, not give him so much space, then you can control him. But Aston Villa have other good players as well. So he's a good player. Southampton will have to be aware of him. But there's many, many good players in the Premier League, and Southampton have dealt with a lot of them this season so far. So he'll be highlighted definitely in preparation. There'll be some special mention from him, from the manager, in terms of just be careful with his movement on and off the ball. But I think with the way Southampton are playing at the moment, they look like they're just happy to outscore teams. So if Jack Grealish has a good day and scores 2 goals, I think Southampton would back themselves to go and score 3. So I love the style of the manager. I love the style of the team, and that's why it's so exciting.
Well, Dean, we've actually just had a comment come through which I think you'll rather like. Kevin said, I love Dean Hammond, what a club legend. So everyone's enjoying having you on the show as always, and just so much chat around the fantastic performance from the boys. It's hard to choose a man of the match according to the fans. Chris has said man of the match should definitely be Shay Adams though. He was excellent. And David has said, well done Ralph, well drilled team, getting consistent now and getting results. Now Joe, I want to come to you for the next question, because I think Ralph may have 1 or 2 headaches going into the Aston Villa game, because Theo Walcott was missing today for obvious reasons, but Stu came in and did a great job. So that kind of Theo versus Stuart Armstrong predicament is probably going to cause a few problems when Ralph sits down and picks his team for next week.
Yeah, I don't want to be in Ralph Hasenhüttl's shoes, to be honest. So that's quite a tough decision to make. I think that Theo might be the odd man out and be a bit unlucky. I don't really think you can change this team after the way they played today and the balance that Armstrong gives. So it might just be Redmond or Walcott, maybe a flip of a coin going forward. But it's great to have options, great to have attacking options, and great to have players playing well. And I've just seen Carlo Ancelotti walk past me here and saw some of his comments, and he just said Southampton totally deserved the win, played better than us all over the pitch. And I think that summed it up quite nicely, because now we have a lot of attacking options, and I would probably keep the same team and then have Theo to come off the bench and maybe bag his first goal back in a Southampton shirt to win Aston Villa. That would be quite something.
The man of the match today was Nathan Redmond. Dean, is there any way that maybe he could be sacrificed to accommodate both those players?
I don't think so, if I'm honest, because Nathan is different to Theo. Theo is quick without the ball. He runs with the ball as well. But Nathan just kind of gets you out of situations. He makes so much distance up the pitch where he dribbles. He gets players to commit themselves. He gets past them. So I thought he was brilliant today. I don't think the team will change for next week. I think the manager's shown that and proved that if you commit yourself to him and you prove yourself to him, he'll give you another opportunity. It's a brilliant dilemma to have for the manager, to have Theo Walcott involved. He'll still be getting his fitness, so the manager will want to get him minutes on the pitch in a competitive game. But if he doesn't play and the other two are keeping him out of the team, that just bodes well for Southampton, because it means they're creating chances and they're winning games. So, Theo will be aware of that. He's an experienced player, and the other two just have to continue playing well. But Redmond was very good today. He's he gives you that little bit more because defensively he's good as well. He understands his role. He's been at the club probably the longest out of all of them. So I don't think he'll make way. And Stuart Armstrong is very different to Theo, but great options for the club. And I mentioned it last week. I think having Walcott back at the club is brilliant for the younger players. It'll inspire them, and it's an excellent bit of business by Southampton. So they'll chop and change during the season, I expect. But next week, I think the two that played today deserve to go again.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what Ralph does with that team to take on Aston Villa. But for today, what a result. 2 fantastic goals and a clean sheet. We really couldn't have asked for more. Thanks, as always, to our guests, Dean Hammond and Joe Prince-Wright. Such a pleasure to have you on the show. And thanks to you, the fans, for joining us. Make sure you join us again next Sunday on Saints Live when Southampton travel to take on Aston Villa. Hopefully, be another good one. Until then, though, stay safe and have a great week.